In addition to keeping track of how long people talk and introducing the next speakers, I have the pleasure of working closely day to day with the mount makers here. And I've really come to appreciate the work that they do and the craft of mount making and how it connects with conservation, preparation of art, the presentation of it, and design of exhibitions in general. So I'm looking forward to getting to see what all of you have to say, and I want to start by thanking all of you for coming and sharing your work with all of us so that we can all learn a little bit more about mount making and further the craft in general. So thank you all for coming. Before we get started, I'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors for this event. They've made this forum possible. Our patron sponsor, Provenance Restaurant and Cafe, which is located right here in the museum. It's a good place to have lunch, by the way. And a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, UltraVue Acrylic. You'll be hearing from them shortly. So let's give them a round of applause, too. Thank you. And now I'd like to turn the stage over to the director of the Cleveland Museum of Art, Bill Griswold.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning. Welcome to Cleveland, and welcome to the Cleveland Museum of Art. We are absolutely thrilled that all of you are here today. As I'm sure you know, just a few years have passed since the museum completed a huge $320 million renovation and expansion project which occupied the board and the entire staff for more than a decade. And it is a joy for us to have a chance to show colleagues the outcome of all that hard work. On top of that, you are here as we prepare to celebrate our 100th year. The museum opened its doors on June the 6th, 1916, and so in a matter of weeks, we will be celebrating our centennial. It is a particular honor for us to host this forum. The work that you do, while it is often by design so unobtrusive that it may escape the notice of the average visitor, is of course absolutely essential. And the skills that those of you in this room represent are vital to our efforts to preserve and display and present the shared artistic legacy of humankind. I frankly don't know how to express the gratitude, sometimes awe, that I and my colleagues feel for the contribution that you make to the museum field. I understand that this is the 5th time that this group has gathered to consider best practice, and I know that your schedule comprises a pretty remarkable series of presentations and workshops. I wish that I were able to be present at all of them by some of the foremost practitioners in your field. We're also thrilled to welcome, I believe, some 170 mount makers, conservators, art handlers, preparators from both Europe and North America to this 2-day forum. Today I'd like to reiterate Jim's acknowledgement of the supporters of this event, presenting sponsor UltraVue and its travel scholarship, and the patron sponsor, our very own Provenance, here at the Cleveland Museum of Art.
Thank you, Bill. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Yadine Larochette, who is the Museum and Conservation Liaison from UltraVue.
Thanks. Where's the show? Oh, it's up there already. Hello. Hi, everybody. I am a textile conservator by training and have worked with a few mountain makers in my past and have always been in awe, so it's extremely humbling to be here, I have to say. Those of you who don't know UltraVue, we are manufacturers of glass and acrylic glazing for fine art framing. And supporting meetings like this one is important to us not only from a business standpoint. but because we genuinely care about art preservation, which is the reason I started working for this company. My main mission here is to create awareness of our products and learn how they may be used in other applications. So I look forward to your thoughts on ideas on how non-traditional aspects can be used with these materials. I'm going to briefly go over 5 products that are within what's called the fine art market, designed for preservation of works of art. 4 products are acrylic, and I will start with the highest end product, Optium Museum Acrylic, and I'll end with UltraVue Laminated Glass, our highest end glass product. All of these products block ultraviolet light 99% with superior clarity. And this curve shows the UV blocking, basically up to 380 for TruVue products. And other regular UV blocking acrylic products tend to go up to 400. So they do add an additional blocking there of 20 nanometers, but what happens with that shift is they turn slightly yellow. There's a slight yellow cast. So that's why the TruVue products end up being a bit clearer or more clear. As I mentioned, Optium Museum Acrylic is the highest end product that we manufacture. It has a hard coat which protects the surface from abrasions. Layers of metal oxides on the surface of the acrylic are applied through a sputter coating process that is described in the poster that will be up tomorrow. These layers reduce reflections to less than 1.6%, and regular acrylic and glass reflect about 8%. The metal oxides also reduce static charge significantly. While these layers are great in reducing reflection and static charge, they will craze if you heat the acrylic, so you can't bend it like regular acrylic. And the coating the coating needs to be removed at adhesion areas. So if you're making cases, you need to remove it at adhesion points, or else it won't stick. This is an example of the reflectivity of regular acrylic on the lower half and Optium acrylic on the top half. A hard coat on the surface protects the acrylic from abrasions, a major issue when working with regular acrylics. Anti-static property allows for framing and displaying of friable media, such as pastels, charcoal, burnt paper, etc. Lightweight works, such as tissue, feathers, etc. And high volume work and/or high traffic areas, since it reduces attraction of ambient dust. And I've been told it can reduce cleaning time by up to 90%. This is an example of a commercial application of Optium in a shadow box where 2 layers were used. And the first layer holds the golf ball in place, as you can see in the enlarged photo there. And the second layer glazes the entire work. So it provides a very convincing 3D effect and takes advantage of the acrylic's anti-reflective property. We also have StaticShield, and this has all the properties of Optium Museum Acrylic except for the anti-reflective, and it's a bit more anti-static. So here's an example of a sample we have showing regular acrylic with polystyrene balls in the box and how they're attracted to the surface, whereas Optium Museum Acrylic here on the right-hand side is not attracted. This is an example of a white sheet of paper behind a glazing that was used to frame a pastel that pulled off the medium, off the artwork. So this is just examples of why anti-static is important, as if I needed to explain that to you guys, but there it is. So here's a chart basically showing the relative conductivity of materials. Regular uncoated acrylic is the least conductive and the most static. StaticShield is the most conductive and therefore least static. And this is discussed in more detail in the poster. Conservation clear acrylic is regular acrylic with UV absorbers in the substrate, and this is the material that's coated to make Optium and StaticShield. Conservation reflection control acrylic is a non-glare acrylic embossed with a textured, providing a matte finish. And the difference between non-glare and anti-reflective is that the non-glare matte finish scatters the light, and the further an image is behind that sheet, the blurrier it gets. I'm sure you've seen that material before. Anti-reflective acrylic is crystal clear. So when you see non-glare and anti-reflective, that's what that means. And lastly, UltraVue laminated glass is made of 2 sheets of water white low iron glass adhered with an inner layer of polyvinyl butyrol. And the film absorbs UV 99% and holds shards in place if the glass breaks. And of course, this protects both the handler and the work of art. So I will have a sign-up sheet tomorrow for samples. So usually we have 8 by 10 samples we can send out of all the materials if you're interested. And we also have specifiers, or if you have any questions at all, just let me know throughout the conference. I'll be around. And thank you so much for letting me be here. Thanks.